Today we're going to talk about something that I feel is really important for you as well as for the collective. And it is the leaders of tomorrow, the new leaders really being able to grow movements that shift culture, grow movements that actually create the world that you want. And this is really important because for so long, you and I have been the type of people that have abandoned ourselves, right? Haven't listened to our own guidance, our own signals, our own messages that are telling us what we're meant to express. But that stops now because we are at the dawn of a new day. And so I'm going to share my SRR framework that I feel is really valuable for being able to build your movement. And that stands for signal, ripple, and return. And it's all about being able to understand how your body is communicating, right? The messages that you're getting for what you're meant to share, as well as understanding how you can really amplify that and take advantage of AI in a way that doesn't replace your soul, but amplifies it. And then also being able to understand the fuel that you're actually building from. Is it fuel of fear or worry, or is it fueled by love and faith in God? So we'll be able to dive into these things that allow you to grow the movement through the marketing lens, but also have the inner architecture as well to be able to sustain that, to be able to really understand why you might have been abandoning yourselves and really correct that now so you can really lead from an inner knowing. So let's go ahead and get into it. The truth is, you are meant to go first. That is a part of your rebellious architecture, is that you are meant to trailblaze. And so that's why signal is so significant, because signal allows you to really trust yourself and to see that you are designed in a specific way to communicate certain messages and build certain things. And when I say signal, what do I mean? Well, the signal is an actual sensation in the body. When we look at it through a human design lens, we see that there are different parts of you that are defined, different channels that are defined. Now, really what that will feel like in your body is it will feel like pressure that needs to be expressed, right? Because the signal is energy, right? The signal has a sensation, a feeling to it, right? And so for some people, that might feel like pressure in the root or pressure in the head, or it might feel like an explosion of energy from the solar plex that needs to be shared, or it might feel like pressure in the throat that needs to be shared, or in the heart space. Our body is communicating to us all the time saying, hey, this is pressure that needs to be expressed. Now, the reality is that a lot of us have been taught to be disconnected from our body, taught to be disconnected from our truth and what we really feel. And so part of the signal is somatic and really being able to tune in and listen to our bodies. But we don't just have to do this alone. God already gave us a map through our natal chart, through our human design. Now, an important thing that can help you, something you can take away from this, is who is the enemy, the quote-unquote enemy of your brand or enemy of your movement. Now, for me, I have a lot of, let's say, Kobe Bryant Mamba energy. So the enemy for me is mediocrity. It's people settling in ways that don't align with how God made them to be. That really gets me going. Now, you can ask yourself that same question. Who is the enemy of my movement? Like, what do I stand for and who's the enemy of that? And you'll be able to actually feel your signal in your body. You'll feel the irritation or the sensitivity or the pressure, that wants to be expressed. And so signals is a tool that allows you to get that in a much more simple fashion. Okay, you plug in your birth data and it returns back your movement, how it feels in your body, and your brand's enemy. And now this is key. This is the foundation of actually growing a movement. And this is the way online business is going, right? We no longer want these vague categories. Of course, we want people that can help us. But more than anything, what we want today is we want people that see us. We want people that feel us. We want to be able to belong. And that's the significance of the movement. And it makes it so that everything that you are building easily ties together. One of the biggest challenges that a lot of creators have is they have all of these ideas and they feel like they need to be separate businesses or separate things. But the beauty really is in how these things tie together. When you build a world, when you build an ecosystem, all of these things get to work together, right? And so that gets to the next part of this, which is to be able to actually take that signal and amplify it, right? Now, one of our tools that really allows you to do that is Ripple. And the idea behind Ripple is an understanding that your long form content, whether it's course material, whether it's podcasts, whether it's YouTube videos, your long form content already holds your lead magnets, your email sequences, your course materials, your clips that can be used for short form. Now, the key is you want to first be able to actually have the correct signal and know the correct movement. And when you are able to then put that into your long form assets, what we can now do is we can amplify your signal even more. So this is about funnel building in a way that is efficient, in a way that is attuned to you, and is a way that actually gets it done. Because everyone knows the importance of actually having a trust building funnel, but the reality is it still can be challenging for you to actually create that because it takes time. So what we do with Ripple is we first understand the architecture of what we actually want to build, and then we're able to reverse engineer that through long form content. And now this long form content is serving so many purposes, right? Of course, it's building a ton of trust. It's on your YouTube, it's wherever you are hosting it, but then it can be repurposed, right? And so what Ripple does is it allows you to link your, let's say, your signal. So if we put my signal, it would be my signal that we've already gotten. And from here, we can see that it's given us a little bit of our brand enemy, just so we can really understand our signal. And then we can paste in one of our long form content pieces, paste in one of my YouTube videos. And what it will do then is it will give us emails that we can use for funnels. It will give us carousels, right? Clips that we can use for short form content, right? And the beauty of the world building map is we already have a picture of how we want to use these things, right? So the signal helps us understand where you're taking people. What's the movement that needs to get built? And then from there, we're able to take that hero content. We're able to take that signal and we're able to turn it into short form videos, email and text posts, right? It can also be used as an auto DM, right? So you can take that clip and you can say, comment this word, and you get the longer version. Now in that process, you're automatically having new leads coming to you, and they're going to that longer form video, which creates this flywheel, right? People are going to the long form video. People are DMing you on Instagram, right? And of course, we continue to build it out. We'll have the thank you page, things like that, right? But this makes it so much more efficient. You know, the YouTube videos can also be used as VSLs. They can also be leveraged as video trainings. I think one of the key things that you'll see is information is everywhere. And a lot of times in the past, people would gatekeep things. But now what you can do is you can gatekeep the implementation or particular assets, maybe a copy paste one page or something, but the actual video content and things like that, information is so accessible. You don't really want to be necessarily gatekeeping the information, right? And so this information, you know, these YouTube videos or these long form pieces can be used in so many different ways. And so now this is encouraging you to actually share your signal more, because now you're like, oh fuck, I really want to share my signal even more, because I know that every time I make one long form video and post it on YouTube, it can be used in so many different ways. Right. And so what we do is we strategically will work with you to be able to understand how you can build your entire trust building funnel, right? There's still going to be things like cold outbound and partnerships and things like that. But from a trust building content perspective, right, that's actually going to make all these things easier, we're using AI in a helpful way, not to replace you, but to amplify who you already are. So those are two of the key parts, two of the key ways we help you to build your movement. So the third part of growing your movement is really about your connection to the greater power. And really the reason why this is called return is because it's about you returning back to who you've always been, to your core, to your source, to your design. And this is essential because you have been creating in a way that is mainly guided by survival. How can I be liked? How can I be accepted? How can I belong, right? And when we're able to really return back to our core power, we're able to lead in the way that we're meant to, but also we're able to grow the movement in a way that's sustainable, because we know we're already getting direction from the Most High, and we're able to listen to it and have our fuel be love and faith versus our fuel being fear and worry, which causes us to burn out. And so there's a couple of things that we leverage to help you with that. One is the alignment code, which really allows you to get in line with the creator and understanding that the Creator's will is also your will. And we're able to bring in hypnosis as well as other practices to help you shift patterns so that you can really align with who you are and be able to grow your movement in a way that feels like you're flowing downstream rather than swimming upstream. Now, down in the description, you'll see a link where you can test out Signal for yourself. And you'll also see a link to DM me in case you want more of this guidance, more one-on-one.